Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me this morning on today's webinar, where we're going to be looking at reporting. If you haven't really, if you've not really looked at reporting too much, it's going to be quite useful for you. If you're quite experienced with 3CX, it might not be, the most informative, but as I said, it's more of an introduction really to reporting. So we're going to look at we're going to have a demo at the end, and we're going to be looking at sort of the reasons, why to use, why you want to use reporting. But as always, send us your questions. You should have a little box on the right-hand side where you can send either a questions box or it'll say chat, and you can send your questions in throughout. So in terms of the agenda today, we're going to look at why use reports, which licenses are needed to be able to use the reports. And then, as I said, we're going to look at a short demo at the end of setting up, some reports and more just sort of an overview of what reports are available. So, I mean, firstly, why use reports? Well, reports are great really for analyzing how calls are being handled, and you can really, see the trends in call volume. So, for example, you'll be able to see quite clearly when there might be peak times. So you can, if you're in a call center, for example, you might need more staff on at a certain time, and the reports really give you a lot of information to work from and really customize how you do your operations internally. Of course, tracking agent targets, really quite a big one, especially in sales or a call center environment. You need a lot of this information to hand to be able to work out different targets, KPIs, things like that. And these, of course, can just be, go straight to management. So it's a great tool for management. Of course, you can schedule reports as well, so you don't necessarily need to generate a report each time you need the information. You can schedule these for your customers, set them up to every month or every bi-weekly or whenever it might be. They can receive a report with the information they need. So that can go to multiple different people or to just one manager or something like that. So you can quite customize it for your customer to make sure they're getting the best experience from 3CX. And in terms of what licensing can use the reports, well, pretty much all the licenses really, apart from the free. So 3CX free cannot utilize call reports, but it's quite a basic license anyway. So if you are looking at something, more reports, you're going to want more features anyway. So you've got SMB, you've got the Pro and Enterprise licenses can all use the call reporting features. So I'm going to move sort of on to the short demo. We're going to look at setting up a report. So of course you'll want to log into your dashboard, your customer's dashboard. This is a test one for us, so there is going to be a little bit of limited information available in the reports, but you'll get an idea of how to set them up and what information is available. So once you've loaded into your dashboard, you can head over to the left. You can scroll down until you hit reporting. You want to hit the drop down box. That'll give a few different options. What we're going to look at today is the report section. So the report section, there's a couple of different key areas we have here. So of course we've got at the top where we can add the reports, which we'll take a look at in a second. What we've got here is a dummy one we've set up, so call report test. You can see this one is a scheduled report, so we can see it in the list here. If you had multiple, of course, you'd be able to see multiple different reports, and you can click into these to edit them, which I'll show a little bit later on. Of course, then you've got your download section. So these are the ones that are instantaneously set up, and you can just view them straight away. So we'll look at adding a report. So you can click the add button here, and now this is going to bring us to the configuration setup. So in terms of the type, so there's tons of different types of reports that can be generated. We've got quite a long list here, and you can pick one to suit your customer's requirement. Quite a popular one we'll look at, for example, is the ring group statistics. So we're going to select that one in this case. So what we want to have then is a name for it. Now, typically with a ring group statistic, you're going to have your sales team, your support team, accounts team. So you might want to call this might be a sales report, for the ring group statistics. So we'll call it in this case, sales, ring group statistic. So sales ring group. We can then choose the format. So the format is HTML or the CSV. I think CSV is a little easier to understand. So we'll click that one in this case. We then have an email section, so you can get an actual email copy of the report. Of course, this is needed and it's required if you're going to schedule these, because obviously then you want to get the report straight into your inbox, especially for your management, multiple different people receiving these. So so I'll just put my email in here. Then we choose the frequency. So a few different options here. So daily, you got first day of the week, every 2 weeks, first of the month. If we clicked on one of these, let's say every 2 weeks, we can choose the day that we actually get this. So let's say Monday morning we want it. So we can select Monday and we can select the time. So if we want it at 9 o'clock, we can choose 9 o'clock here. So then, they've got it straight in the morning. But for this purpose of this webinar, we'll just do one time only because we want to see it straight away. And then we can choose the range. So this is the range in terms of the data that we're going to be viewing and collecting. So if you scheduled it, for the first of every month, you'd want to have this for the last 30 days because you're going to get, the last month's worth of data sent across. In this case, we'll just do 30 days as well. So we can select that here. Now for this particular report, we can then add the ring group. So as I said, you typically have support, sales, accounts team, help desk, whatever it might be. Because this is one of our demo licenses, the ring groups maybe look a little bit funny, but we have all these different ring groups here. So we might as well just select them all, but of course you can select individually. As I said, if you're having a sales report, you just select the sales report or the sales ring group to get the data for that ring group. So we can click OK then, and that's going to load them all into the report. Of course, if you were to edit this down the line, you can just remove them quite easily. So down the line, if you to go to edit this, if you'd scheduled it, you want to get rid of the a sales ring group or a support, you can just click on the X on the right here, and it'll get rid of that one for you. And of course, then you can just add it back if needed. But in terms of the report, so this one is sort of set up. It's going to generate the information for us once we hit schedule reports, which we're going to do now. So we'll hit that there. It's going to take us back to the main reports page, and it's going to be underneath our scheduled, above our scheduled report. That's just because it's essentially grabbing the data. So we can refresh, and it should disappear from this list. There we go. So it's disappeared from this list, and it's now in the download section. So we can then find this one here we've done, and we can click view. The view is going to download a CSV of it, and then we can see the information, which I'll just drag over here. So we can see, the data range it's from, what type, and loads of different information here. So it's going to have all the different phones, and it's going to break it down by ring group. So we have all these different phones available here. Of course, there's no data available for us because it's just one of our test licenses, but you can see the amount of total answered and total received in terms of the call volume. So that's just one of the reports which is available. As I said, there are loads and loads of different reports available. You've got call reports, which each of these will have their own individual ranges and different data that you can collect. So here, extension or range of extensions you can collect, things like this. So there's typically always a way to get the information that you need with the reports. And if there isn't, if you can't find the report, you want to, if you've got a particular requirement for some data, come speak to us, and I'm sure we can guide you through it and recommend a report which might be the best to use in this case. But let me just go back to the main report section here. So we can see, we've got a couple of different options up here as well, which we can touch on. We've got the settings section as well. Now you can actually set your own logo here. Now bear in mind, this is an enterprise feature to be able to change the logos, but if you had the enterprise license, you could use your own custom logo and set that on the reports as well. So when your customers get it, they could get their logo on it, or even your logo. It's really up to you. We can then see the reports. Now there is a search bar here, so if you do have quite a lot of reports set up, which often people will do, you can search by report, which is where the name comes in quite important. And the more reports you're going to have, the more specific you're going to want to be. But with this one we've done not too long ago, we can click into this to then edit it if needed, or just check over it. If actually it was first day of the month and then your customers telling you they want it every week, you can go into that and weekly, and you can change when they get it. We can just hit cancel and go back to there. So as I said, if there are any, if there is a requirement for some data that you're after and you can't sort of figure out which report is best to use, come speak to us. But yeah, that's kind of it for the basic overview. And I mean, if there's any questions, drop them in, and I'll be able to take a look at those. I will say as well, we do have a partner day scheduled for the 29th of November. So if you're not already signed up, get signed up on my main website. You just go to ProView's main website, and there'll be a big banner there. You register your attendance, or just come speak to myself, and I'll get the information across to you. But that's going to be our partner day on the 29th. So we're going to have a few different manufacturers there, and it's all around the ICN switch off. So I'd love to see you there. I can't see any questions that are coming just yet. I'll stick around for a minute or two longer. I don't think we've got too many questions now. Well, as always, if you do have any questions you think of later down the line, just give us a ring, and I'll be happy to go through it with you. That's not a problem at all. So thanks everyone for attending. And of course, any questions, just let us know. All right. Thanks, guys.